Hello everyone, thanks so much for coming back to my channel, and if this is your first time, hi, I'm Natalie and I hope that you'll subscribe and stay a while. Long time no see. I'm so sorry it's been so long, but you guys, I probably have the biggest announcement of my life. Now, if you follow me on other social media for the last few months, you will already know. But I realize that there's a large number of you that only hang out on YouTube, and that's fine. I love YouTube. I'm a YouTube person myself. And so I wanted to do my makeup along with y'all and just talk about this really biggest, most important thing that's ever happened to me while I do my makeup, and hope you don't mind. As you can see, I'm in Mexico right now at our place in Rosarito. So if you hear like loud like whooshing in the background, it's the ocean because it's right there. One, I'm sorry for being gone for so long. Like, there's no excuse. I have an excuse for the last few months, but I don't have an excuse for before that. I'm very sorry. I literally was just being lazy and not making content here. I'm making content on other platforms, but not doing it here. And I love YouTube. I literally am an all day long YouTube watcher. So why am I not making content here? Hello. Because I won't remember to talk about all of the different things that I'm using. I'll link everything that I'm using down below. So if there's something that catches your eye and you're curious what it is, or you want to grab it for yourself, you can see it in the comments below. So I will cut right to the chase. I'm pregnant. I said, if you are following me on other platforms, you will have known this. But like I said, there are so many of you that don't, which is totally fine. And y'all are so supportive and y'all are an amazing audience. So I'm like, why have I not told YouTube? But yeah, I'm pregnant. I found out personally, my boyfriend and I, on March 1st is whenever we found out that we were pregnant. Now, June 1st, I am 1 day shy of 20 weeks. So I am halfway through this pregnancy already. Just doing very simple makeup because I'm actually gonna film another YouTube video literally right after this, and I wanna have at least a face on, right? If you know anything about me, this is my first pregnancy. I am 37 years old and I will be 38 whenever my child is born. We do know if it's a boy or girl. It's a girl. Did a little cake reveal with my boyfriend and I, and it was just precious. I was so sure I was having a boy. From the second I saw that first positive test pop up, I was so sure. I was wrong. My boyfriend was so sure it was a girl. My mom, because my mom was a labor and delivery nurse for 40 years, there's all this like nurse magic that she knows. And she literally was like, okay, when was the first day of your last period? And blah, blah, blah. And then when was this? And so conception must have been this, and boop, 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 boop. It's gonna be a girl. And I was like, I don't believe that. Surely enough, she was correct. In my heart, I wanted a girl so bad. I want a healthy baby, right? I want a healthy baby. But man, I wanted a girl. And I was just blown away in the best way possible when that cake was pink, whenever we revealed it. And so I've just been over the moon. Do have a name for her already. We're not gonna share it until she's born, but it's a name that just already, it's what I refer to her as. I talk to her all day long. Anybody in my life, they know what her name is gonna be. Being 37, not only am I considered of advanced maternal age, which is so a geriatric pregnancy. Talk about insulting. There's nothing wrong with being geriatric, but being 37 and being referred to as geriatric is silly. Especially because my OBGYN and the hospital system and everything, like, they all laugh whenever we talk about that, because they're like, the average person that we see in here, the average person is like 33 to 35. Like, this is you're a very normal age, but just scientifically, that's what it's called. We were not trying to have a baby. I was always kind of like, I want to have kids, but I don't want to force it. I don't want to have them when it's not the right time. It was one of those, like, I just really hope the universe will give me a child if I'm ready for it and at the right time. I got older and older, I was worried that, well, like, time is passing and I don't know if it's ever gonna happen for me. And, just kind of like trying to make peace with it the best I could, right? I would talk to my mom about it because obviously, like, that's what she dealt with, like, every day. And she would always reassure me, like, Natalie, you have more time than you think. You really do. I'm telling you, I deliver women in their mid-40s just fine. And so But it was always one of those like societal things, right? Like I had so many friends that I grew up with or that I met in college that were, you know, married and having their first or second child, some even more than that. And then, you know, I'm very lucky that in my particular friend group, we all were, you know, pretty much child free, some by choice and others by they want them, but you know, it just hasn't happened for them yet either. We were actually about to head down here from San Diego one weekend, and I was like, there's just this little voice in the back of my head that was like, no, as I sit here with the concealer all over my face, that was like, Natalie, because I usually like will have, I don't drink much anymore at all. I'm at the age now where hangovers last to like 72 business hours. It was like, I might want to have like a Paloma with dinner or a margarita with dinner, you know, something like that. I knew that that could come up, right? Or like a seltzer by the pool or something. And so I was like, let me go ahead and take some tests. So I run and I go get tests. I come back. I take 3 of them and every single one is positive. And not only are they positive, they are immediately positive. Like there was no like, is there a lot? No, that came up with a quickness. Then I left, I went back to the store and I got some of the, because the other ones I got were off-brand. I know it's literally like, it doesn't matter, but still in my brain, I was like, no, let me get some name brand ones, right? So I got like a digital one and I got like one of the name brand dye ones. Both of those immediately came back pregnant. And it was one of those like, I thought I was going to pass out. I didn't know what was real and what's not because, I didn't mention, not only am I older, I also have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which classically makes it very hard for people to get pregnant. I've gotten a little bit of color since I've been down here, so this color may not even work for me. How funny. If it doesn't, don't say anything. I'm very sensitive right now. No, I think it's okay. Between age, PCOS, and I have a blood clotting disorder where it's not common, but it's more common than you'd think. It's called factor V Leiden gene mutation. And basically what it is, it's a blood clotting disorder where if there are certain hormones, usually the pregnancy hormone, HCG, and certain other hormones in your body, if your body detects them, it skyrockets your chance of stroke. It coagulates the blood faster. It's your body attacking itself, basically. I have never been able to be on hormonal birth control because it literally is like me taking medicine with a straight path to having a stroke, right? We didn't actually find out until about the last, maybe 10 to 15 years that pretty much everybody in my family has it. My mom was the one who had a stroke. Luckily, literally, there's any kind of stroke a person can have. My mom had the best one. She had no lingering side effects, nothing. She had what's called a TIA stroke, a trans ischemic aortic, something like that. But it was stress induced, but she had a stroke as a result of this blood clotting disorder. And because of that, the doctors were like, hey, let's do some testing on you. You don't have a history of anything that should give you stroke. And then boom, they found the blood clotting disorder. From there, they're like, well, this is often genetic, so have everybody else in your family get tested. And we all have it. My sister has had 2 successful pregnancies, but it can cause not only me to be at risk of stroke or the person to be at the risk of stroke, but the incidence of miscarriage can happen pretty easily because of the clotting. Like the body sees it as a foreign object, it clots, then you miscarry. People can totally have successful pregnancies, but it's not uncommon for you to have at least a few miscarriages. What all of that to say is that all of these things were kind of always in the back of my mind, that like I'm getting older, and if I do decide for sure I'm ready today, I am ready to have a baby. And then all of the complications that could happen. And so it was one of those things where I was like, it just probably isn't going to happen for me, right? I kind of just tried to make peace with that and thought about, alternatives like adopting later on. And then boom. And then there she was. First trimester was really, really rough. Biggest symptoms were morning sickness. It's not just the morning. It can happen any time of day. And mine was all day, every day. It was 24 hours, unrelenting. Luckily, I didn't get sick I don't want to trigger people, like, because I know like emetophobia is a real thing. I didn't vomit much. Well, no, pause. I vomited a good amount, but for how nauseous I was, how often, relatively, I think I vomited pretty infrequently. You know, there are medicines that you can take for the nausea, but then those have some unpleasant side effects. So I was really just trying to raw dog it as much as I could. Still to this day, one of my biggest symptoms is restless legs. I've never experienced that really in my life. And like literally restless leg syndrome is horrifically like just maddening and annoying, where not only are you so fatigued and you don't feel good, but then you try to lay down at night and your legs just won't stop moving and it's painful if you don't move them, all of that stuff. Oh, this would have been helpful. Thanks, makeup bag. I wonder if there's another one in here. Look at me. Wow. And fatigue was just horrible. And that's my number one symptom still. The nausea comes and goes. It's pretty infrequent now at this point in the pregnancy. But the restless legs are less often, but still happen. But the fatigue is all day, every day. Like I feel like I could sleep 20 hours a day easily. It's like that tired, like down to your bones tired. And it makes sense, like you're growing a human. And so that's like jokes I'll make where if my boyfriend's like, you know, oh man, like you're still sleepy. I'm like, well, I'm making kidneys today. So it's a lot of work. I try to give myself that grace, even though I've been very frustrated with myself, to be honest, about just like, oh, like, why can't you just get over it, basically? And I try to remind myself that I'm literally growing a human being. And so I should be nicer to myself, right? There are not necessarily any new symptoms popping up in the second trimester. I'd say the newer ones are more body focused. So I absolutely have a baby bump, and I'm trying to describe these feelings to people in my life who have never experienced them, whether they are the feeling of, I can literally feel in real time, like my abdomen stretching to accommodate and to accommodate for the organs moving around for a baby, things like that. I can legitimately just feel myself growing. It's bizarre. Actual physical pains now, like round ligament pain that happens like top of like the pelvic area, where it's literally just like from the pressure of everything growing and moving. I am starting to feel baby. Well, I've been feeling her for a few weeks now. I also wasn't sure what that sensation was that I was feeling. I didn't know if it was gas straight up or if it was organs moving, things like that. And then luckily, especially at the anatomy scan that I had, which is like the scan you pretty much have halfway through pregnancy, it's the very, very, very detailed scan that they do to make sure, like they're measuring the kidneys, the heart, they're making sure that there are no like anomalies or abnormalities, basically. So I could see her on the screen moving, and then which she was moving like crazy. I'm gonna insert, if I can insert a video, like a little video clip of, so funny, of us catching her literally double kicking with both legs at the same time, like donkey kicking my insides. But I could see her, and then I could feel what I was feeling, and then I realized, yep, that's baby that I've been feeling. So that's really neat. And I think that's just another phase of your pregnancy where you really start to connect and bond with the baby. Before then, it's just kind of like, hope you're doing good in there, and like, I know I'm pregnant because I have symptoms, but if you're not really showing, and it's just kind of like this weird like oh no, like there's something in there. Now, big major kicks haven't happened yet. It's more just like the sensations of her moving. She's growing literally perfectly. Everything about her is perfect. She's exactly the right size for exactly how old she is. Everything's going beautifully inside. Incredibly lucky to literally have one of the best doctors in the country that specialize in people with high-risk pregnancies, which I am, for advanced maternal age, and thrombophilia, which are blood clotting disorders. So I'm literally in the most perfect hands that I could be in. And to have her going, you're doing great, and everything looks wonderful. Like even like my numbers on all of the blood work, because you are constantly getting like stuck and blood drawn and tests done, which I'm all for. you know, I always want to make sure everything's going well. She's like, you're doing great. Everything's awesome. Is, you know, very reassuring. And, you know, I'm doing everything on my part by avoiding the things I should avoid and resting in the correct amount of rest and movement. And especially when we're down here in Mexico, like we have a pool downstairs. And so it's so nice to get in the pool and feel the pressure come off of like my lower back and stuff like that. Oh, it's so nice. I'm so grateful for that. Like, what a blessing. I couldn't ask for it to be any better than it is. My boyfriend is so excited about her. Like I said, he's been like, nope, it's a girl. And he wants to be a girl dad so bad. Same thing as me. He's just a healthy baby is the best baby, right? Happy, healthy, like a baby in our arms is the best. But he was like, man, I'd love a girl. He was so excited and beside himself whenever we found out that it was definitely a girl. He's a musician, so he's playing music for her all the time, piano and guitar and bass, and, you know, can't wait to teach her. And he's a surfer as well. That's why we have this place here, because there's downstairs is the ocean, and, you know, he goes surfing out there. It's like, man, I can't wait to teach her to surf and all of the stuff. Like, he's just so excited. A little bit of a sunburn yesterday. I spent a lot of time outside and I sunscreened up multiple times, but I guess it did not matter. That's the long and short of it. Like I said, everything is going great. And I've had some people ask on my other socials, like, okay, like, is all of your content going to be mom content and baby stuff from here on out? And no, I want a child. I want children. It is something that is, I think children can be so transformative to your life. I know it's incredibly hard and literally life-changing and all that stuff, but I still have always thought that I still maintain that I am a full person outside of being a mom. I can be a mom and I can be somebody who loves fashion and music and travel and beauty. And then I'm also a mom where, you know, granted, it's one of those things where it might be easier said than done because I haven't done it yet. But I truly, where I want to make sure that I still hold on to me, that I still make time, whatever that looks like, however that folds itself, that I am still a whole person. I do not want to lose myself in motherhood. I want to be completely invested and completely involved, but still be my own person as well, and have my own identity outside of motherhood. And there are some people that don't want that. They literally, like motherhood is them, and that is wonderful. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong to do it or not, but it is something that I feel in my gut is important to me, especially now being a little older. I've lived a good chunk of life and I've gotten to do a lot of stuff. And so I feel like have created and fostered my personhood up until this point. And I'm very excited to have this personhood along with being a mom. I think it's really cool. So no, but will I have a bunch of it, especially because right now, you know, it's a lot of what my life is, you know, preparing, going through all the motions, pregnancy itself, and then into birth and the first stages. Like, am I interested in still doing other things? Absolutely. So is it all of my content? No. But will it be a big chunk? Yeah, and I hope that you'll stick around for that. I'm so grateful to be somebody who has had a good chunk of their audience for a long time. And, you know, my audience has gone through, you know, growing up in marriages and children and some divorces and loss and all. Y'all are fully formed people too. And the only difference on my end is that I happen to record it. I hope that you'll stay and that you'll, you know, go through this phase of my life with me, or that there may be new people that join or things like that. And I fully believe that the universe has given me this child at the time I'm supposed to experience it. So I'm very grateful for it. Even if it wasn't planned and even if it was completely a surprise. Especially being a high-risk pregnancy, I do whatever I can to be the least amount of stressed as possible. Because it matters, you know. The baby can feel it. It can affect the development of your baby. And so I do my best to handle stress as calmly as possible. As of now, my due date is the end of October, right on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio, and her official due date is she would be a Libra. And I think especially having two hard-headed signs for parents, and Libra being such a beautiful, balanced, like calming energy, I think that she'll bring a really, really cool dynamic to our little family. Already seeing her on sonogram or on the ultrasound, like I said, she was moving and grooving all over the place. So not only I'm done with my makeup, but yeah, that's what's going on in our lives. And it's literally the biggest, most wild thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Have a wonderful, unbelievable support system in my real life as well as online. And man, she has so many aunties and uncles to greet her in this world and to love her, and such good family. And I couldn't ask for anything better. I thank y'all for watching so much. Life is very exciting and changing, and I just can't wait to take y'all for the ride. I appreciate y'all watching so much. I'm so sorry I've been gone. I hope that you will understand. I will see you next time. Right after this, actually.